This is Michi Hoyer, this is Avid Chronic Racing, and this is the Formula Renault 2.0 around the circuit of Zolder. With me I have my engineer Robert, who has a bit free time between his studies, so we will work together on the current setup.
Hello everyone!
I'm going to load up right now, and just as he screamed hello everyone, I wanted to ask if Robert feels alright today.
I'm just tired, so if anyone wonders if I'm upset or anything, no, I'm not. I'm just in a constant feel of dreaming to go to bed and sleep. I don't know what happens to me, but I just want to sleep all day. I feel like I'm just chronically tired. But that's it. So don't really wonder if I'm angry, sad, or anything. I'm okay. I'm just tired.
And still, this is probably the very same thing I have as well. So I'm feeling a bit tired, I'm feeling a bit bad, and as an addition to that, I have to learn a new track. And we're saying learning a new track. Nope, I've never raced Zolder before, and I barely know the layout.
Zolder is really easy to learn actually. And I kinda like the flow of Zolder. You will like it too. The only issue with it is maybe third sector, which is quite tight and off-putting, but otherwise the whole track is quite enjoying.
Well, rip on the chicane.
Yeah, chicane in this car is... I really advise you not to go too wild on the curbs, because
Oh really?
With this car under tray, you will launch yourself like you did.
Just right there, yeah.
Exactly.
Well, I assume though that this damn chicane will be probably one of the best overtaking spots, isn't it?
Yes. Yes, it's pretty much like this. If you get these few corners that you are in right now correct, you will probably get yourself in a position to attack another guy. But there are more places to attack actually, which will be at another chicane.
Yeah, which
you will get to soon.
Well, I took an alternative line.
Yeah, now I can see. Yeah, this this chicane with triple apex, so I'm calling it triple apex chicane, but it's not really. But yeah, it's painful in this car. In GT car you can be a bit more aggressive with all the curbs and everything. With this you have to be more careful, so it kinda sucks some fun out of it, but yeah, the last sector is a bit showstopper for me at this track, but otherwise Zolder is quite enjoyable. And first corner should be really fast in this car. Almost no brakes at all.
I highly disagree. But let's see, let me just learn the track.
I'm not saying no brakes, I'm just saying not much brakes.
Hey Jack, thanks for joining. Hey Brett, sorry. I just take the chicane a little with curbing. Not saying it was pretty bad, but literally that race track is only about chicanes, isn't it? More or less.
Oh, you can say that, but I've always liked Zolder for some reason.
I mean, it's an enjoyable track for me as well. It's challenging, definitely.
for some reason racing on this track, maybe it's not the best track for racing, but it always produces really great fights. Not many overtakes, but due to characteristics of the opponents, you usually end up being on someone's tail almost entire race, which produces great tension, great racing, and it's all about not making mistakes. If you don't make mistakes, you can basically safely arrive at the finish, first position if you started like this. But yeah, this track really benefits people who are consistent and don't make many mistakes. And setup should be quite straightforward on this track, mostly because of how flat this track is. I think we should be pretty much good to go within a few moments. If I'm not saying we're gonna have perfect setup, I'm just gonna say that baseline setup should be pretty much straightforward with this layout.
Yeah, I just need a few laps still to get a proper run through all the corners. I can see this track being very fun with GT cars.
It is. It actually is. With Porsche, especially.
Oh, surprise, surprise.
Not much in GTE cars. With GT3 it's okay, but Porsche for some reason works the best on this track. And Martin Stefanko is totally correct. You should invest into some racing shoes.
Not before load cell breaks.
Why not?
Because I'm fine with that. I've raced those pedals with shoes and I had like literally no feel at all. And I know that racing shoes have a very thin sole, but still any thicker layer feels like being even more distracting.
No, it's just yet another thing which you are not used to, which will be beneficial for you. Just like FOV. And I can see you don't have correct FOV in this car. Jack, I'll wait till I see every one of them. I don't really care about that much about which look the best and so on. I'm gonna sink my teeth into them a bit more once they are more fleshed out. These promo shots are 45. Michi is quite low, but he should manage. I was hoping you would get to 50-55, that's the range I was hoping you to get to. 45 is somewhat correct FOV for you, but I don't know how will you manage that.
You'll have to slow down and give up the time gained.
And back to your question, Jack. These promo shots don't reveal anything special. I'll wait till official tests actually start. That's where I focus my attention, and I will start analyzing and maybe figuring out what the team is trying to achieve with their implementation of this part of this solution for aerodynamics or purely mechanical part. Yeah, it's fascinating. For me, F1 and LMP in many ways is more about technology than racing. That's why I usually keep myself attracted to the sport. Maybe in early 2000s, and that was for me all about racing. I didn't really care about technology part. But yeah, as I grew older and older, I started to transition myself from being a racing fanatic for F1 especially, more into technology freak, which racing for me, I don't really care about racing in F1 these days. I watch them, I watch every race, but results don't really matter for me. It's all about watching how each team develops the car and so on. Well, DJ, the one that he shake down at Silverstone won't be fast anymore. Well, you can't be fast with half a car. Maybe you don't know, but he crashed the car at Silverstone.
Who?
Ricardo.
When?
Yesterday.
Huh. On the rollout?
Yep.
Oh, you can do that.
It was maybe not. It was between damp and wet. He basically started pushing the car more and more with each lap, and on one lap he basically.
What are you allowed to run on a promo run, like 100 kilometers?
Yeah, but on these 100 kilometers you can do whatever you want with a car. So basically he did that. I'm actually really interested how Red Bull wants to cool down the engine with the intakes for radiators like this. I mean, it has to be cooled down with, I don't know, fairy dust, magic. Maybe Daniel is taking dry ice into his overlays into the car and just secretly puts it in the car. I don't know. Yeah,
Right.
DJ, he crashed it, and some reports even say that it's not only the parts that he crashed, it's basically the whole chassis, which needs to be rebuilt for testing next week.
Hey, Lasse. Good to see that you feel better there, Lasse.
Hey, lesson.
I have no feel of that damn car.
And hi, Glimmilir. If that's how your name should be pronounced. Glimmirir. Did you really have to pick such a difficult name to pronounce?
There are even more difficult names to pronounce than this. How can people race on a single screen with that field of view? I do not know.
I can.
I cannot even see the end of a corner, despite having a feel of the rear end.
Mostly because you want to see where you are, but you should feel where you are. You need to learn to drive with your, like, let's say, you should be able to sort of predict your position in space, just like parallel parking. When you
Alright, how do you parallel
park
parking with moving objects? And I'm not talking on my own car or on curbs. Like if side by side, where from what kind of position from that view on, I know that the guy beside me is like 10 centimeters or 50 centimeters beside my wheel. How do I know?
That's
I can predict my own position, but I can't predict the other guy's position.
yeah, but you can use your depth perception to guesstimate how much you can turn to actually squeeze yourself into this position. You don't, for example, you don't see your bonnet when you try to park and you want to squeeze your front end between two cars, and you sort of
Yeah,
know.
this is fine because I have a stationary visual reference. But on the, if I get dive bombed into turn 1, I want to have the possibility, or if I let's imagine for turn 1 is side by side. How do I know in which position exactly he is while we go through the corner?
You have virtual mirror, don't you?
Which only, well, that's given me that angle of like from the front left wheel to maybe the rear wing. That is the area I do not see at all. And this obviously can be reduced, especially at the front to some point. Of course you have that angle. Anyway. But it's just usually I use the outer lines of my wheels to judge and to see at least a tiny bit of the front wing of the other guy. I keep cutting.
You'll have to slow down and give up the time gained.
Well, you can't expect to see everything around you, because even in real car, when you have unrestricted movement of your head, you can move your car just to make you see more, and you still have blind spot. So it's
Yes,
sort
I do
of-
have. I agree.
It's
But-
the same in sim racing. You can't really expect to see everything, and you basically seem to want to see everything just because you feel to be dive bombed by someone. Well, sometimes you are going to be dive bombed, and you seeing that.
Yeah, but I want to
you
have a
won't change that.
possibility. You want to have a possibility in order to avoid a crash. despite the fact you lose the position. But if I do not see, I simply turn in, and then I have damage on the car, and I not even lose position, but DNF the race because of a bad field of or of a low field of view. That is what I'm saying.
You know that by changing your field of view, you change basically the proportion of everything around you. It's not only changing how much you see in front of you, it's actually changing the sizes of objects around you, because it scales down your and up your visual cues of everything in a outside and inside the car. That's why, for example, with lower field of view, it's easier to brake much later, because it kinda, you can say, it extends everything that is around you. So your braking point is actually extended to a point which you can actually tell if you are braking 2 meters too early or 2 meters too late. While with higher field of view, your feel you can be much further, and you can say you can, for example, say I broke 6 meters too late, but you don't know that because the field of view basically changes your perception of depth.
I agree with the fact that as soon as the perception of depth is lower because of field of view, you're actually hitting your marks even further. I can see that point. I literally felt that point, but still, I mean, you know, and obviously you can have possibilities to swap around that issue in VR or with triples, but
in VR it's basically default FOV. Well, the implementation of VR, when it's correct, it basically sets your FOV to correct level as if you were actually looking out with your own eyes. So you don't have to do anything with FOV once you have VR. With triples, I can promise you, if you had triples and kept your correct mathematical FOV, you would never say it feels wrong, it feels incorrect. You would say, oh, okay, I can race like this, no problem. It's only down to you not being used to have everything in front of you being so stretched. Basically, it's down to this. You are just not used to have everything in front of you being so stretched. That's the only blockage I can see for you that there is for you now.
Well, to be totally honest with you, yes, I am a bit unused to the fact that everything is stretched, but this isn't the real issue to me. The biggest issue I do have really is I'm sacrificing safety for speed. And by safety, I mean, yes, I do have that awareness of where am I on the track and how much I need to, like, for an overtake round the outside on the upcoming corner, I need to give at least that amount of room. And I can do this on the next corner as well. So you brake a bit later, you keep a little margin. Right, I can do that, right? But I want to see if the other guy has the awareness to give me the same amount of room I need in order to make the corner safely without any contact. I'm asking for a high good, having a control of everything, which you actually cannot have. I do know that. But on the other hand, by not seeing or knowing anything about the other guy, and I need to fix this damn corner there, I'm sacrificing that safety margin. I can go down to myself saying, alright, we're now being here, and I see the front end of the other car being there, I automatically go to the outside in order to give him the room to not make contact, to not turn in on him. Right now I can't see that. And this is all I'm saying.
Yeah, I totally get you. It's
Am I
well,
taking the wrong
some
line
people.
here?
Um, Let me have a look a little bit behind.
I mean, do I have to take the early chicane or the late chicane? Because the rubber line goes through the early chicane.
Oh, don't bother it. It's just use your instincts. You basically know which line will be the fastest one
No,
to
no,
go.
no, no, I'm not talking about line through a corner, I'm talking about which chicane of the track to take.
The latter one, the slower one.
Okay.
What was I about to say? Yeah, just this. There are different kinds of people that race in sim racing, and some people have no issues with not seeing what others do, where the others are. Perfectly fine. So they basically drive more on faith and more on feeling, instinct, and some drivers just need to see everything around them just to feel safer and maybe give them more confidence to actually race closely to other people. No, I see no problem with this. I'm just saying that it's a sacrifice. So one guy sacrifices maybe some awareness for some speed, and the other one sacrifices speed for some more awareness. So it's down to who wants to sacrifice what. Basically, that's basically the premise of all of it. You seem to want to have more awareness, and that's okay. If you are willing to sacrifice maybe some consistency, some more speed, then no problem. It's totally fine.
Just want to have a look at how other guys are taking the track right here.
Glimirio. Yeah, basically drivers both have and don't have a say in how they sit in a car. For example, Alonso. Alonso is known for to ask the team to create seats which have almost no rise on the butt player, but let's say the butt part, when exactly where your ass is. He basically asks to be for it to be as thin as possible. He wants basically to sit on the floor in a car, and it's usually much lower than even designers would want a driver to be in a car. So yeah, you drivers have some say to with the seat position, but yeah, usually engineers want drivers to be as low as possible for COG, for better COG, but if it doesn't screws up COG as much by raising your, for example, back part a bit higher, so you can actually be a bit higher with your head. If it doesn't screws up the COG as this much, they can go with the preference of a driver, just to give him a bit more confidence, for example, because if this more confidence gives him half a second per lap and maybe slightly higher COG gives away maybe 1 or 2 times, you are still 3 times up because of this. So it's down to pros and cons. If something is really beneficial to use, then you should use it.
Quick answering some questions. Betus, to be totally honest with you, I do not even know what IR track is. And Yanis, I actually love the painting of the current testing Red Bull. To be totally honest with you, I even think it's nicer than the actual paint they will use in the season.
I can explain what track IR is for you if you want.
Yep.
Track IR is a system which uses your head movement to move your virtual heads it has its pros and cons. It's basically it's a sensor that you put, for example, on your head, on your cap. Many people use caps, baseball caps on the heads. They put the sensor on the top of it, on the cap, and another on monitor, for example. And it just tracks your movement of your head. And if you turn your head left, you basically look left, but you have to actually look right with your eyes to see the monitor, because it's not like a VR that you move your head and you see everything in front of you like you would just turning your head. You have to move your head just
Right,
slightly
we need to
left
work
and
on the
right.
set now.
Okay,
It's
no problem.
too jumping around on the rear axis, especially through those chicanes, especially on the 3 apex at one. And I give you a quick feedback on my thoughts towards head movement. Since Rudy van Buren was on my stream getting out the head movements of my graphical things, I'm happy for that, so I don't want to have my head to be moved virtually in the game without me turning the head properly on my body. Just feels unnatural.
Once you get used to it's quite useful, but I'm not a fan of this system. I don't really like move my head when I'm racing. But yeah, let's go back to setup. What I saw was basically your rear end being a bit too stiff, both on spring rate and anti-roll bar. If you make it a bit softer, that should actually already help you. Also, lack of toe in at the back also creates some instability when you jump and land, because when you have some toe in already on a car, the rear end wants to self-align itself like it's almost natural way for a car to want to stabilize itself. So when you don't have toe at all at the rear end is a bit more natural with its movement, but it has its own pros and cons. The con is the rear end is a bit more unwilling to settle, but it's good if you want to use this sort of movement to, for example, create better rotation for the car. But if you feel that you need to have more confidence at the rear when it gets a bit unsettled, then going up on toe in is actually the way to go.
Well, thank you very much, Robert, for explanation and help on the setup. Let's see how it feels through here. Yeah, that feels like being a bit better. And Luca, I hope you have fun with those sim racing gloves of feel. To me they are still pretty nice, as I said already in a review I done.
When you will get big and famous, you can do a giveaway of sweaty gloves by Michi Hoyer.
I don't think anyone wants this. But yeah, I can do that.
Costs some creep to sniff every time he goes to bed.
That is creepy though.
Yeah, I can see the car has some underseal right now, but
Alright, how are people doing 21s here?
by driving faster.
Oh, I'm thinking
Did I
of...
satisfy your curiosity with my explanation?
I didn't know that. Ah, because they take the other chicane.
It shouldn't be like this because you should take the slower one.
Well, it didn't give me a cut. Neither an off track. I mean, the lap time wasn't
Strange.
valid itself.
I haven't seen anyone go through that chicane like this. It's always been the slower one. So I'm quite bemused. I'm quite bemused myself.
Let's see, I follow another car and see how that... I mean, you know, Lubomir Moric is usually my pace. A bit quicker maybe sometimes. But very
still,
usually he's my pace. And I cannot see a way. I mean, you gain like 3.5 to 4 seconds in that inner chicane. And I'm ready to watch people now from the back here.
Good.
First car is taking the fast one, the first one. So does the other. So basically,
Okay, if that's what they are doing, then do that too. But it's always been the title latter chicane in every single sim that I used.
to be totally honest with you, the first chicane does not seem to even be racetrack to me.
It is. It's actually.
It's a runoff area to me, it seems. But to be totally honest with you, iRacing then should be the system that prevents you to do that. Oh, too stupid. I mean, Lubomir Moric has a A44. Let me see what he does. Moric.
Alex just
Lol.
said that the last chicane should be taken flat out.
Yeah, that is what Lubomir is doing more or less. Alright, this will be a lot mid-race learning, I can tell you that. But anyway, it's race session on.
Anything else that you can add to your feedback on the car?
It's a bit twitchy in the rear end still.
Still, okay. When?
Not mostly while braking and initial turning.
Then we have to really raise the front end slow compression rate by 1 or 2 clicks. Basically, if it's only on entry and you feel like you are braking and then turning and the car seems to be a bit loose, then I can totally tell that it might be more front compression than rear rebound.
Here you go. That is a set.
You know what? Let's do this. One click on bump stiffness on the front and one click on rebound stiffness at the rear end.
Up or down?
Let's go like this.
So, tell me the number, which number? Oh, at the front.
Give me a bit higher. I thought it was 14.
It's 16 at the top, at the front.
Oh, then go to 17 and rebound stiffness at the rear one click higher, one click stiffer at the rear end. rebound stiffness.
Okay. Spring rate front is stiffer than in the rear. Is that alright?
But well, you know what? Let's go one click lower with spring rate on the front. It's not wrong to have higher front spring rate than rear on a car which is heavily rear biased, weight biased, but
Hey Doxky. What you mean setup sync? Let's see if this issue on the brakes is fixed.
should be.
Yeah, it's a lot better. Anything I can't do about that anyway now, because qualifying is now on.
This Jakub Jezierski is following you everywhere.
Oh yeah,
This is like 5th or 6th time in a row that I can see him racing next to you.
I agree.
Maybe he's a stalker.
Oh,
Maybe he wants your sweaty gloves and he's just waiting for a good occasion to snap them.
I haven't seen him on my stream though, so I kind of doubt it.
Maybe he is under a different nickname. Maybe that Doxky is...
Doxky, I don't think I ever used it. I do not even know what it does.
I'm also curious, Doxky, what's this setup sync is actually?
I will take it super easy around everywhere in the race and on the qualifying lap, I think.
Mm-hmm. Glimmerly. Is this your name? From now on I'm gonna call you Gimli, because it will be easier for me.
Oh yeah, I found myself having issues with that as well.
Glimmerly.
Alright, you're not
It's your own fault. You should have thought about this before you named yourself like this. You are Gimli right now and deal with it. Hello, William. Oh, okay.
This is a very bad track for safety rating, I can see this already, because if you just touch the gravel on the exit of the chicane, you're handed an off track. And I mean the final chicane.
Mm.
And this, you know, you do not even go off by an inch. And it can happen so easily.
Alex, basically Michi is a giraffe and he wants to replicate his real view in sim racing. That's basically it. No conspiracy theory there, he's just basically just trying to replicate his giraffe-like appearance. I also call this view Codemaster's console view. Glimmer. It's not about confidence. I'm just not used to, not used to saying such names on daily basis. In Polish, we don't have tongue twisters like this, so it's a bit unusual for me to call anyone Glimili. Therefore, you are Gimli. Deal with it.
Damn. Wrong gear. Come
If it's
on.
not off track, then don't really bother with it.
No.
But yeah, Zolder is a track that it's all about qualifying. So every next race that you're gonna take at the Zolder, you'll have to practice your qualifying runs almost all the time. Your race pace won't be that much of an issue. If you basically won't have any mistakes in a race, then you will still be able to keep your position in front. Fourth.
Anyone has a
Right now
clue
you're
on
fourth.
fuel? How much to take? And I don't want to be just to be safe thing. I mean, really fuel. We have 20 laps.
20 laps with fuel consumption on a level you just had 7.5 liters, didn't you? So
I
if
had
you
on the
had
start, yep.
and you did 2.5 laps basically, because the out lap and 2 quick laps.
Yep.
So it's
Have you seen what I
between
had
2
left?
and 2.5 liters per lap. Therefore 45-50 liters should be enough.
How much?
40, 45-50 liters
That
should
is
be
way
should
too
be enough.
much. Maximum should be 25. Thank you very much, Matt. Matt
That
said
would mean that
I used 20.
it's 1 liter per lap.
Yeah. I mean, Matt Backham is probably one of the reliable guys from iRacing. Alex Quake also says he's using a 0.94. So,
Okay.
thanks for the
And maybe best to be
evidence,
safe,
guys.
maybe 21. Because I don't want to see you once again, like half a lap before the end, coasting towards the finishing line with your hands on the steering wheel and your face like.
Well, if you guys are you sure about those 20 liters to be fine? If so, I'll take them. I see your point though, Robert.
This truck, I really expect if you don't make any mistakes, you shouldn't really have any issues with keeping your place. Like I said, I'm talking from my experience watching other people race, and every time I saw them drive, it's always been like this. With no mistakes and not crazy high rear wing, you basically just need to cover your insides and cover your line, and you are basically fine. Well, Glimmilir, there I can agree with you when it comes to Polish tongue twisters, but actually on daily basis there aren't many tongue twisters in Polish language which we use like in everyday life. But yeah, if you really would want to twist your tongue, then there are lots of examples. Yeah.
Look what's happened in the chat. Jakub Yajerski was asking, did you recently stream GT3 from Road America? Alright, there you go.
And it's pronounced Jezierski.
Yeah, I'm not too familiar with Polish names. I'm very sorry about that.
Yeah. Well, I just taught you how to pronounce pocisk, so and you remembered that, so I think once told you will remember.
So thank you very much, Jacob, or Jakub. That is right. Is it right? Is it Jakub?
Jakub, yeah.
Jakub. He just told me in game that he has subscribed to the channel, so thank you very much on that. Funny, wasn't it? That was like saying he wasn't on the stream yet. And a good 10 minutes later, you say, "Alright, I saw you and subscribed." So, fun fact.
Hello,
Alright.
Nick.
Put it relative. Thank you for the good luck
How was
wishes,
your day,
guys.
Nick?
And then I think I will hand over to Robert.
Yep. Yep, 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 yep.
Here are the lights.
So far, so good. Fourth position.
I agree.
With Lear. I don't know how it should be pronounced.
Alright, I'm losing a lot on that inside bump of the first chicane, or at the final chicane. I think like, either I'm taking it wrong, or I'm losing a shitload amount of time there.
Ah, it's basically you bottoming out. Your front end is pretty low, and when you hit that bump, it basically makes your car rebound in quite violent way. So actually going a bit higher with your front end should fix that.
Okay.
Right now, the only solution that I can give you right now is to try avoid this bump.
Well, if I try avoiding it, I need to lift a lot and then have no straight line speed at all.
Well, it's either that or this.
I take the bump.
Okay. Well, it's obvious that it's basically your front end bottoming out. Nick, we are not dominating anything right now. But we will one day, as a team. And ACR Zakspeed will be on every single page of every single paper. Glory days incoming.
I hope so.
Today's team red line is tomorrow's ACR Zakspeed.
Whoa!
I'm not gonna ask anything, I'm not gonna ask anything, I'm not gonna ask anything, I'm not gonna ask anything.
Or I simply lost it while braking.
Yeah, now I saw. Well, I told you to avoid curbs, didn't I?
Yeah. Was I too far to the inside there?
Yes.
Okay.
You are not in GT3 anymore.
Oh well.
This car has almost no suspension travel. And since it's so light, every single curb is like a I don't know, a ramp. Nick, yeah, he got a license within basically 2 days or 3 days after getting the license, but it's due to him actually having few good races in succession, which resulted with him getting to 4.44, I believe, safety rating, which almost automatically resulted in him advancing to A license. And it happened, I don't know, 2 days ago? I believe it was 2 days ago.
Yep.
And just one thing that I should also mention. It's not uncommon to get suspension damage from curb riding in Formula 2.0.
Oh yeah, I agree.
So it's not only trying to avoid any problems. There is... Ooh, this guy. Rejoining in.
Yeah, it scared me a bit as well.
But it's good that when you spawn, you actually waited those few seconds more for them to pass you. If you had pressed throttle right there and then,
Yeah.
it would have ended the race
Well, I had to.
instantly. Well, you had to. But I've seen many people do it anyway. Just press throttle and hope for the best.
That's retarded.
Yeah, that's why you sometimes see people with with safety rating on level like 1.2, 1.7.
Oh, that was actually Jakub that spun behind us now.
Oh, and just a fun fact, short version for Jakub is Kuba. So if you want to call him a bit shorter than Jakub, then Kuba is totally fine.
I know I had a Jakub Brzezinski racing with me in the team for years.
Yep. I actually don't know where Kuba is right now. I haven't talked to him in a few months actually. Same with Nikodem.
I think they're both at
Wisniewski.
Evolution.
Okay. Well, they were always a bit like... We call it in Polish papuszki nie rozłączki, which basically means like twin parrots that never separate each other.
Whoa, scary activity here in the track.
Zolder is quite known for this. Treygassen.
So I think Jakub is gaining on me a pretty lot through the final chicane there. In fact, me hitting the bump quite badly. I'm not sure though.
Pasha, if I sent you my picture, would you make a Craigasm emote out of me. I mean, out of my picture, not out of me.
Yeah, Pashy is.
Magic clicks. That's how it's called nowadays. Just like magic touch. Sometimes when you compile a sentence with wrong words, you can find yourself in a prison within a few minutes.
Alright, we're still gaining on a bunch of the guys ahead there.
That's good. It actually is quite encouraging. Because it's rarely for me to see you actually be competitive straight away on a new track. It usually takes a few races for you to actually acclimatize yourself into a track car combo with a setup and so on. So to see you actually be competitive with others, it's really encouraging.
Yeah, it's getting better and better.
Still too high FOV. By the way, don't get upset, but I sent Sean your picture that Martin sent me. You know the one
Yeah,
with your face like.
I know which one. That's alright.
Sean
I've sent the
almost
means
lost
of
it.
his. Yeah, I sent the mean of himself to him as well, so he lost it. I mean, that is the reason why we do live streaming, you know. Because you catch all the good moments, or you also catch the scary moments, or the creepy ones,
Yeah.
however you want to see it.
We just need Martin to be quite awake right now. I don't know if he is still with us or he switched off, but if he is
I will have
still with
Redemption
us-
Day on him anyway at some point, so I'm not worrying.
Oh,
There will be that
Do you
one
have
day
any
I'm
way-
waiting for.
do you have any way to access any of his pictures to repay him with same thing?
Alright, the bump is keeps setting me off even further.
Achtung, fahre Lager.
That was for Pasha, just for you to know.
I'm not following the chat.
You don't have to, you just need to focus on racing.
Yeah.
I'm dealing with chat.
Sorry.
Let's make a parody of Nicky Team and maybe do something that he does as well, like
Mic check, mic check.
No, we don't do that.
yes. Ooh, I just saw what happened.
Feels like now I got some damage on the car, as you probably said it, because now I'm not hitting the top speed at all anymore, and I feel like having a loss of downforce.
Well, with your front wing being twisted like a spaghetti noodle.
I'm not
Well,
sure
you
whether
should-
it's
but
twisted, but just look at
I
the
can tell you
counter.
why.
Well-
When you hit your curbs like this and then dig yourself into sand traps, iRacing doesn't really take these things lightly. You can get some serious aerodynamic damage from doing this. So
Well, I just did it, so
that's why I told you to avoid using curbs, and you still did this. So
well, it was a
you
driving
just punished
error.
yourself. Just punish yourself.
It was not like taking a curb because of cutting a corner. But yeah, nothing
Well,
there's I can do
with
right
better
now.
FOV, you would have better judgment on distance and so on, so you wouldn't overshoot.
Stop blaming the FOV for this if you do a driving error.
It is FOV, and this driving error is due to you using wrong FOV. Totally. Nick, of course I did. But it's been like, I don't know, 15 years ago. I mean, the last time I seen it.
No, Robert.
You don't want me to
No.
do what Pasha asked me to do? Okay. Maybe after the race. But still, we should raise the front end for the next race. I'm thinking 2-3 millimeters at first. Let's see how it works out. I think it won't be enough for this bump at the last chicane. I would rather do it step by step than going too high and not know about this.
Alright, I want to
Glimmilir,
race
I
stop.
love you. This is exactly what everyone should be typing in the chat. Everyone copy and paste the last message from Glimmilir and just spam it.
I'm not on a T-cam.
It's almost like a TCAM. I call this view Codemaster's console view. Or giraffe view.
Oh, damn the damage.
Ryosuke! Omea wa mu Rindaryu! Nani? It totally helps, Nick. For me, it basically it was free pace. It's between 6 to 9 times per lap for me. Basically almost a second gain from just having better FOV. Also my tire wear got better because of this, because I turn a lot more precise, and because of this I don't hit them as much, so they keep a bit cooler for longer time, which really helps with tire wear. Nick, also, if we ever gonna have any girls watching us during stream, I'm gonna ask them to call me Tosa. And if you know any Japanese at all, you're gonna know what does it mean. Bad, Michi.
That was exactly the topic I was talking about half an hour ago.
Well, you knew that someone was on the outside. Even your spotter was kept on.
I was turning the
this.
wheel maximum. I could not even turn. He turned in on me. Full stop. But if I saw it early, I could have done something more about it rather than just that. Anyway.
If he turned on you, then what else could you do about this?
If I see it early, I can back out even more of it rather than what I just did. I just saw it too late. Anyway, that's it for the moment. We will be back live racing the McLaren MP4-30 around a track I don't know yet. I'm still gonna choose that and do a lot of setup work on this. And this will be streamed on the sim pit, so I'm setting up all stuff relevant there. Then we see each other racing on the sim pit channel in a good half an hour from now. Robert will still be with me then.
Yes, I will, and will still be annoying as hell, but that's my job.
To some extent, but anyway, thank you for being here. Thank you everyone for coming in and having a chat with us, having a race with us. I'm not even want to show the recent result, but anyway, so we meet each other in a good half an hour later. So see you later there, guys.
Yep, see ya.